Welcome to another conversation with the brothers of Two Complex. We appreciate you for clicking on and viewing this video. But of course, before you get into the content, make sure you like the video, hit that subscribe button, because about 95% of y'all right now that is viewing the video are not subscribed. So do us a favor, hit that subscribe button for us. And also hit that notification bell so you miss none of the bangers that we drop every single week. We love y'all. Be blessed.
But sticking with the NIL conversation, you and I obviously we exchange a lot of Instagram posts and social media posts to figure out what we want to talk about. There's a guy, we've talked about the WNBA extensively now for a couple of episodes, but there was a guy saying that the WNBA is in trouble because of NIL and the amount of money that women athletes are making in collegiate sports. So the question is, Sticks, how is the WNBA in trouble? And if so, how do they fix it?
The WNBA has been in trouble, honestly. And the only reason why they're still a league is because the NBA is subsidizing them. Now, the reason why I think the NIL is such a big deal and it means so much to the WNBA is because low key what we just talked about. Like, if these women are making so much more money in NIL in college than they will ever make in the WNBA, because I had it up, but I think I deleted it. I think the average salary of a WNBA player, I think it's like $50K. I want to.
The average salary was 123. That's what I saw last time we talked about this. Yeah.
Okay, so it is as of April 2nd of last year, it was 147,745.
Yeah,
but for the 2022 season, it was 102. Okay, so it went up about 45K over the past year. So
that being said, you have individuals in the WNBA making $60,000 a year.
You do.
Just so we're clear.
Exactly. So on the high end is 147, on the low end is 60K. So
no, that's the average. It's 147. I think Brittany Griner or somebody was making $227,000.
You're right. So average being 147, but there are women out there that's making 60K. Yeah. So, but you got people like Juju Watkins that's probably making in the millions per year on her NIL. Why would she go make
Caitlin Clark for sure?
Caitlin Clark for sure making multiple millions per year on her NIL. Why would she go to the WNBA and make 147? And I actually, and I know when we talked about NIL, we talked about Angel Reese and how she said that she is in no rush to go to the WNBA. I never thought about the prospect of a lot of these endorsements that they're getting off the NIL can be taken afterwards. After they leave LSU, Iowa, USC, they have endorsements with different brands that might not be as big as what they have while they're in. So a lot of these endorsements do end whenever they leave college, but they can take some of these with them after they leave. So it's like, if they're making out, they don't have to go. The eagerness to go live out your dream and be a professional athlete is not there for women because they don't make enough money. And the reason why is because they have no fucking revenue. And the biggest thing about the WNBA is that they want to be paid more, but you're not profitable enough to be paid. So we had a conversation, me and D-Lo had a conversation when we were talking about Juju Watkins, was should they change the rule to be one and done, two and done, whatever, so that this talent that's in college right now for these women can go boost the numbers and the revenue, possibly bring more excitement to the league, because these girls can play now. So why not let them go ahead and get in there? But the WNBA's problem, I think, to me, is pride. They're too prideful. And the women that are in the league don't make it any better because they don't want any change. They don't want to change anything, but they want to make more money. And the biggest thing is revenue share. How can you share nothing? You can't get more of nothing. If you're every single year being in a negative, you want to 0% of zero is what? Zero, nigga. You can't multiply nothing. You can't give you more of nothing. So to make it more exciting, there needs to be some changes. And there's been things passed around as far as lowering the rim and this, at the third. And again, I talked about this before. I've went to a Seattle Storm game. Me and my daughter had a really, really good time. But, and D-Lo, I didn't think of another analogy, so I'm not going to say the one that I told you the other night. But
yeah, don't say that, bro.
I'm not gonna say that, but but it's more so that it's not necessarily the game that's exciting. Watching the women play the game, it's the atmosphere around you that they have to keep you in. They have to keep you engaged in the game. So the atmosphere at that game was amazing. Between every quarter, it was something going on. People in the crowd coming around, crowd engagement, stuff like that, because they understand that the women's game isn't as exciting as the men's game. And there has to be some changes. But yes, to answer the question, D-Lo, it is in trouble. And it does have a lot to do with NIL because they don't get paid as much in the league, which is crazy, in the league than they getting paid as in college. What you think, D-Lo?
So I'm kind of on the, I don't want to say I'm on the other end of the spectrum. Kind of somewhere in the middle. I don't think it's as much of an issue as people think it is. And the reason I don't think it is much of an issue as people think it is because of the eligibility rule that they already have in place, right? So you can't enter into the WNBA until you've spent domestically, if you're a domestic player, till you've been 4 years removed from high school or have gone to a university and graduated. If you're international, you can come into the league at 20. That makes no sense to me, but
that's only 2 years removed. If
right, that makes no sense to me. I don't know why you wouldn't have a universal rule where you have to be 22 to come into the league. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So players already aren't in a hurry to get to the WNBA because they know that they have to go at least 4 years after high school before they can play in the WNBA. Now, with the introduction of the NIL and with players making the money like a Caitlin Clark, like a Angel Reese, like a Hannah Hidalgo, who I don't know if she's on the level of money making as Juju, but she was a hell of a player as a freshman at Notre Dame this year as well. So if those players can make that type of money in college from endorsements, from their name, image, and likeness, then yeah, you would think that does cause an issue for the WNBA because there's you have players like Angel Reese that publicly say, I'm in no rush to get to the WNBA because I'm making so much money in college. That is where the issue comes because how can a player, amateur, again, air quotes for those that are listening, how can an amateur player make more money than a professional player? That makes no sense. So, that is where the issue comes. But is it a true issue? I don't think it's a true issue because they already can't go to the league anyway. Now, if they had the same rule as the NBA where you can go to the league at 19, then and players are just like, I'm good. I'll stay in college for a little bit. And so if they stay and then like the crop isn't a good word, the batch of individuals that they expect to go to the league just don't go because they've made the money that they want to make in college, or like they get hurt staying in college, or so whatever the case is, where they just don't end up going to the professional ranks, then that's where the issue becomes. But if they can still make the money in college, if they can still get the following that they've gotten in college and bring that to the WNBA, I think that only helps the WNBA because one, now they don't really have to worry about paying the top tier dollar for these stars because they've already made their money in the college. If they've invested it well, they could make just as much money from their investments from college as they would make in the WNBA. But then that also lessens the contract, the amount of contracts that they have to pay for these stars, which we've heard a lot of that coming from the NBA and NFL, which is why they say they have these certain age restrictions in place, because you let an 18-year-old kid come into the league, and let's say he has a 10-year career, you have to pay him that much more money. However, if you let a 20-year-old kid come into the league, statistically, he's not going to make it to year 10 because of the wear and tear on his body. Mm-hmm. And he's just going to phase out. Same principle with the WNBA.
Agreed.
Yeah. So how they fix it, obviously how the WNBA would fix it is, we all know that they need to bring in more attention to the league.
Agreed.
They need to attract more fans, attract more viewers. And so I feel like we've talked about this before, they absolutely need to lower that age restriction or eligibility to get into the league, to allow some of these players who, money might not be the thing that they really want. They really want to be professional. They might hate school. And, I've talked about that before. They might hate school and just say, I really don't care. Just give me a couple 100,000 and I'm good anyway. I just want to play basketball. I don't care about school at all. You let them individuals come in the league, they bring in their following. That helps to attract a different type of fan. Because you think that Caitlin Clark isn't going to have a handful of fans follow her to the WNBA?
100%. A handful. She's going to have at least the state of Iowa is going to go watch her play.
That's what I'm saying. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So, and you have these individuals in college, right? Like women's college basketball right now is talked about more than men's college basketball, I would say. And if it's not, I would say more people know of Juju, of Caitlin, of these individual players than I can't name you individual players for a men's team right now. I can tell you who Caitlin Clark is. I can tell you who, like a freshman, Hannah Hidalgo. I think I'm saying her last name right. For
Hidalgo, yep.
For Notre Dame. And then a freshman basketball player, I think her name is Booker for Arizona or Arizona State.
Can't remember.
No. She won Player of the Year or Co-Player Texas. She plays for Texas. She won Co-Player of the Year in the Big 12. When have I ever followed women's college basketball like that? Never. So, but I can tell you who these players are now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't tell you who individuals are for men's basketball. So that says a lot. So these individuals can take that notoriety, take their name, take it to the WNBA. That can only help the WNBA. Another thing, you briefly mentioned it, they need to lower the rims. And I know we hear, the women, they don't want to, no, that's going to mess up our shot, so on and so forth. You already play with a smaller ball. You already shoot from a shorter 3-point line. Your quarters are shorter. You know what I mean? Okay. Shorten the rim. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that hurts the high school level, because now you have to get different rims for the men and the girls and the boys.
Or you have to get the adjustable ones in opposed to the ones that lower from the roof. Right. You got to get the adjustable ones now. So they might have that a little bit more budget in that, but still.
Exactly. So that requires a different cost. But I mean, we're talking about professional, lower the rim. That helps, right? Another thing is they probably need to introduce something different that the men's game doesn't offer. They introduced a 4-point shot at the All-Star game last year. Probably need to introduce the 4-point shot as a way to go. And you wouldn't be able to do it in the NBA because the NBA is a lot more mature than the WNBA.
And they already got people shooting, multiple people in the league shooting from the 4-point line. So it's like, it wouldn't be as, I think it would be exciting still in the NBA, but we expect the men to shoot from that far. We don't expect women to do that, to be perfect. From what I saw with the WNBA, the 4-point shot was like, it was at the 3-point line of on each side of the court. So they had 2 spots on each side of the court. Oh, got you. Yeah.
But in order to be considered a 4-point shot, you had to be touching that spot.
Got you.
Right. So introduce something like that. And the reason I brought the NBA into it is because I don't think the NBA could introduce something like that because they have an extensive history already, and they've already increased a shot points for a shot before.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, it's about the same time as the WNBA is, about the same age as the WNBA is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if the I don't know why I'm struggling to say WNBA, but if the WNBA was to introduce that now, it'd be about the same, cause the same score trajectory change as the NBA did.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think you do stuff like that to get interest in the game, to get more viewers. Let players come into the league earlier than they can. Lower the rim. Have a different scoring or something of a sort. And you need to do that in order to fix the issue that you currently have, because the issue is you don't have the fans attracted, you don't have the viewers viewing your game, which means you don't have the ad revenue coming in, which means you don't have the TV deals, which means you can't pay the players what they probably should be paid. And the collegiate players can, and so that's why you're getting what you're getting.
I agree.